It has taken me many years to come to terms with what I'm about to tell you, and I feel like I'm not alone in this situation. I am a dice goblin, and you know what? I'm not ashamed about it. So in today's video, I'm actually going to show you some of my collection. And it's only some of the collection, because if I showed the whole thing, we would be here for a very, very long time. So without further ado, though, let's get into the video. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me for another video that's related about D&D, but I wanted to do something different this week. I have so many dice, and they all kind of have a story and reasons to why I use them in what situations that I do, that I thought I would open up my heart and I would share them with you all. So yeah, we're gonna talk about some fancy like math dice and have some fun, and you'll get to find out kind of more about me, maybe. Yeah, let's go with that. You're gonna find out more about me. I mean, each dice does have a like particular situation that I use them, so it kind of explains a little bit about me. Before we do, y'all, remember, if you are liking my content, please drop a like, leave a comment down below. And if you want to catch me live, I am live on Twitch Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, where you can catch me playing variety of games and also sometimes recording some of these live vlogs. So without further ado, though, I think I've said that multiple times. What else do you say, though? Next? Let's get into it? I don't know. But without going any further of just word vomiting, let's talk about some of my dice. So the first set I actually wanted to talk about are these really funny dice that Mia got me for my 30th? Yeah, it would have been my 30th birthday. They're Llama Dice. I honestly don't know how well you'll be able to see, but on all of the dice that I have, there's little llamas on like the highest number. So like my D20, you can kind of see it, where if you roll a nat 20, it's a llama. I'm sure there's like a particular reason for it, but I just really like them. They're just in general really pretty, and they're shiny inside, and it's really tough on camera to see because they're a fun teal, but they do have sparkles inside. These ones, I really don't use these in a particular situation. These have become just part of the collection as a whole. I don't think I've ever just played with these by themselves. Not because there's anything wrong with them. I love them. They're more of, so for everybody, if you don't know much about like dice and how they're made, there's some that are a little bit softer edges, and then there's some that are really just defined. And I have a couple of dice like that, but I prefer these softer rounded edges because they don't hurt my fingers. I tend to a lot of times just hold on to the dice and fidget spin and hold on and whatnot. So when they're really pointy, I end up like stabbing myself and not being a happy camper. I remember opening these up and just losing my mind because I think the first thing I saw was a llama, and I was so confused. And then Mia explained like the llama is on all of them, and it's so funny. Like, what is a better, like, screw you than rolling a natural 20 and it's a llama? The next ones I want to talk about are actually my only pair of metal dice that I have. I was wanting metal dice for a really long time, and I found these. They're like copper, and they have purple, and they're a little shiny. And for my home game that I'm a part of, my character is purple. So I was like, oh, these are perfect. I want them. I love these dice, but they absolutely terrify me. I roll with this tray, and it feels like anytime I've ever used these dice, they're going to break the tray. I remember rolling them for the first time on my desk too, like before I had the tray, and it just makes a horrible sound. Like, I don't know if the mic's gonna pick this up. Do you hear, like, I know you heard that. It's scary. They're so beautiful though, and I do enjoy that they're heavier than normal dice. It eventually feels like too much work. I don't know if anyone else who's had metal dice runs into that, but I loved them at first, and then it was just so much work and so much effort that I kind of went away from these. But they were my main dice for a little bit. And they were really the main determining factor in a lot of choices early on for my home game character. They don't roll well. I think they're balanced very nice, but anytime I've used these, not great. not great at all. So they've kind of gone to the wayside a little bit. If you're ever looking to get metal dice, I recommend having a set. It's cool. They're probably more expensive than I ever should have spent money on for dice, but I don't know. Now I have metal dice and you don't. So bleh. So the next set of dice I actually kind of call my Septimus Dice, because that's the name of my character in my home game, who they share a similar color with these dice. I found these in a game store in Arizona when we were visiting family, and I love them. It represented my character a lot because he's a purple half-orc tiefling, but he's kind of being corrupted a little bit by some dark forces. So I just thought this is exactly them. Like, this is the perfect dice for them, and they've become my go-to dice. I love them. They've decided some really, really awesome story moments in my character for me. These dice have really become just for him. I'll throw in the D6 and the D4 when I need to use it for other characters, but really, when I'm playing my game, these are his dice. I don't typically use these for any other games that I'm in, which is weird because I didn't think I would ever be that way. I was always just fully, well, dice are dice. You don't need to blah, blah, blah. Like, they don't need to be a specific character. And then these became so much tied to him that I'm very superstitious. I don't know if there's other players out there that are superstitious, but I don't roll these dice for other things. I don't use up any of the good magic, like just screwing around rolling. I don't roll just these. I don't let other people touch my dice unless they ask, and I'm like, yeah, that's fine. But no, do not put your negativity, bad luck on my dice. That's how superstitious I am. So yeah, these have become only for the home game of Septimus and nothing else. Not even the Twitch game, nothing like that. Speaking of the Twitch game, I actually have a set of dice just for that barbarian character of mine. Also a birthday present from Mia. They're now the Fel Dice, but they're originally from Critical Role, but they're fully my barbarian dice. They're really fun because they look like bone. They have like a white texture and they're dirty and they just look like a barbarian would use them, which is beautiful because they're from, like I mentioned, Critical Role. Their campaign 1, Travis Willingham was a barbarian by the name of Grog. So these are Grog's dice technically. So Mia bought them knowing I was going to play a barbarian in the Twitch game, and she bought them for me. These are Fel Dice. I do not use these for any other game. They are only when I play as Fel. They help like character wise too, because they seem a little bit bigger. I don't know if that's necessarily true. I mean, look at the Llama Dice. You can tell that the D4 is a little bit bigger. So the barbarian dice are just bigger in general, and they just make you feel like a barbarian. I have 2 sets of dice for Fel. The other one was a gift from my GM Del the Lemon, who gifted me these incredible clear, and they have flowers in them, because as I've talked about in these videos, Fel, my barbarian, loves flowers, and they're so pretty. I haven't used them too much because I don't know if they're weighted properly, because I was noticing in our early games I was using them and I was rolling really, really well. And I kept rolling well, and I would even just offhandedly just roll and they would come up high quite a bit. So I don't know if the little flowers throw them off or whatnot so that they land high constantly, but I've avoided using them just because of that, because I don't want to cheat. I don't want to fudge my rolls. I don't know if I really have dice that just fill me with calmness like these do, where I can just look at these and just instantly just be fully just happy and chill. And it was an incredible gift from such a wonderful human that, I don't know, even if I don't ever use these dice again, I'm going to have them always just to look at. And that makes me really, really happy. All right, we have 2 more. The next one I want to talk about are dice that I save for really screwed up situations. I call these ones my blood dice because they kind of look like blood. And also I use them during really not good moments for my character. They're so beautiful, Again, I don't think the camera can fully show, but you can see where there's little patches of like black and then red. That's why these have become for moments of deciding whether my character is going to commit horrendous crimes or unalive someone, or specific moments that are more difficult than just, oh, they're stealing a loaf of bread. This is fully, do we assassinate this person? Do we cause damage to them, like harm to them? That's what these dice have become, because they symbolize, at least in my brain, just corruption taking over and that black tar just slowly filling the dice and whatnot. These are also one of the few where I talked about earlier where a lot of the dice are really pointy and defined edges. These are one of the few that I own that I love that, since they're so defined edges and you'll know exactly what you rolled, that it's almost kind of like just destiny in a way, where when it comes to these moments, there's not a, oh, is that this? Is that that? It's a very defined, oh, that is this number. Okay. The last set is actually not necessarily the newest. It's tied with the clear ones I talked about that Dell got me. But this newest set has become hand in hand with all of my other dice. I don't have a name for these ones. They're just pretty. That's all. No name, just super, super pretty. These are just my workhorse dice now. They are there for every roll in some way, whether it's damage, whether it's advantage, disadvantage, anything like that. And I see myself using these for a really, really long time. I always like darker colored dice, like the darker with copper, anything like that. Oh, it makes me happy and I love seeing them. And these just hit so many aspects of just aesthetically that I love when it comes to my dice. So short and sweet, y'all. I know I wanted to just mix it up a little bit. We've been talking a lot about like, oh, how you RP and these breaking down aspects of D&D. And I thought I would just share some of the fun collectible side of D&D. There's a lot of collectible stuff, but once you start buying dice, you fully think you're going to be fine with just one. You're never fine. You're just going to keep buying and buying and buying. And it's okay. As long as you have the money, as long as you have the expendable income to buy these, just buy them, be happy, get that little shot of serotonin and enjoy the ride of just owning dice. And if anyone asks why you own so many dice, pull some out, throw it in their face and run away. Don't do it, but you could. But I'm here to tell you, don't do that, but also live your life. As always, thank you so much for watching this video. If you like what you saw, go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment. You can catch me live on Twitch. And down in the comments, I think I actually want to see if any of you have a favorite set of dice. If you do, I'd love to hear why and what makes them special. So leave those down there in the comments so we can share that. And yeah, just thank you for hanging out, and I will see you all next time.